It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin. And our special guest, Buffalo Bills alum, Lee Smith. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. I'm Rich Gaenzler. What a show we have for you today. We're going to talk about the Patriot game, who some on our staff, and maybe you watching at home, would call comfortable. Kind of an easy win for the Bills against the Patriots. We'll talk about, of course, the Jets coming to town in this big stretch of really important divisional and conference games, sans the Bears, upcoming. We'll have the Mafia in as well, with an esteemed author as part of our panel. And Bills former tight end Lee Smith, 2 stints with the Bills over the years, played with Fitz and got a really cool mention from Fitz and Josh Allen during the Amazon telecast this past week. We'll talk with him as our Bills guest coming up. But first, let's go around the water cooler. All right, so here we are around the water cooler with the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Dr. Jared Shatkin, there's the water cooler. We never really pay any attention to the water cooler because it's inanimate, but whatever, it's there. Patriots game.
Yes.
The word you used to describe it was comfortable.
Yeah, no, that game was comfortable. Okay, so it feels like watching the Detroit game, you have to be on the edge of your seat, right? Watching that Minnesota game, edge of your seat, the Jets game. This game didn't feel like the edge of your seat. This felt like you watch the first half and then you can cruise and drink a couple beers in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like, that game just felt comfortable from the start, and it seemed like we had a stranglehold on them the whole game.
I was going to say, they owned the game almost literally on both sides of the ball. I mean, they talk about complimentary football, but all the phases were really good, and let's start with Josh. I like your term, hero ball. You like to talk about that. But let's face it, that touchdown to Gabe Davis, we've seen that play before on multiple occasions. He does it again.
I mean, you think about the game versus the Jets, which is topical. The game before, we had the perfect game versus the Patriots. He goes to the side, he throws that incredible pass to Diggs for a touchdown. It's the play of the game. Then you go to the playoff game versus the Patriots, where he throws that same ball to Dawson Knox, and then it's kind of just the same exact play again. Everybody thinks he's out of bounds, and he jumps and throws an awesome ball to Gabe Davis, who's covered at the time. And it's just a play that not many people can make.
And it says a lot about the chemistry between the two of them, right? Yeah. Gabe Davis knowing he's going to go here, seeing the defenders in front of him on his left, knowing that the ball's not going to be thrown at the defenders ideally. It's going to be thrown away from them. So what does Gabe Davis do? He cuts back. He's wide open. I mean, it was a great play all the way around.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you need a couple of elite athletes to make that play. And
for sure.
Luckily we have that.
For sure. Like I said, they owned the game. Time of possession, 38-22. 9 of 15 on third down, which had been problematic for the Bills. Defensively, I think the Patriots were something like 3 of 12. Mac Jones, inefficient. They outrushed them, the Bills, 2-1, which nobody expected them to do.
I've been saying it for weeks, but now we finally got the James Cook game where he's running the ball effectively and he's out of the pass game effectively, and it's just that solid running game with Devin Singletary just 4 yards of rush, and then you got James Cook in there making a guy miss in the secondary, and it seems like this really could be a thing where it seemed like James Cook was out of favor of the coaches. Now it seems like they're starting to see his potential. So I think it's great because it's later on in the season when you're seeing a guy develop like this.
3 for 3 in the red zone. Again, another problem area for the Bills. Had a great game against the Patriots there. And the fumble didn't hurt because they got to stop. Forced a relatively long field goal from an old guy. He misses it, so that doesn't even hurt him.
I mean, doesn't it feel like that happens with the Bills sometimes, though? When we play the Rams in the first week and we have 4 turnovers, and, it doesn't matter because our guy's better than yours.
And we talked about the fact that we're without Von Miller. Here's a chance for guys like Russo and Epinesa and Lawson and some of the guys that just aren't talked about very often to step up and make plays, and boy, did they.
I mean, Shaq Lawson, game of the year for him. He got the game ball after the game in the locker room, and I think the guys really like him as well. So for him to put a game together like that against the rival team was awesome. Greg Rousseau, there were some concerns about the ankle injury, and it seems like we didn't really need to have those concerns. And then there's just a guy who I like to spotlight every week is Ed Oliver. I mean, he's an awesome player, and I'm excited that he's finally playing to his potential.
And I'll be honest, look, we haven't played teams with exceptional offensive lines in a bit, so take advantage when you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. Eat them up. If if you can do that, and it's a perfect time for Von Miller to be sitting. If he's going to miss the next couple games, let's play a banged-up Dolphins O-line. Let's play a Jets O-line that hasn't been playing as well, and let's see what these young guys can do in the pass rush, and then let's get Von Miller back for that playoff push.
Yeah, first place in the AFC finally. We went through that little lull. We'll talk about that more coming up when we get into the Mafia segment. Yes, more of the show. Great job, Jared. We'll see you in the Mafia segment and in the final when we talk about the Jet game. More coming up on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
If there's one thing I love more than Western New York, it's the people of Western New York. So all my friends from Buffalo, Amherst, and Tonawanda, Williamsville, Cheektowaga, and Orchard Park, where would you love to have dinner tonight? Russell's, of course. Russell's, of course. One more time. Russell's, of course. Thank you for being my guest and letting us do the rest.
All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. I'm joined by a great friend of Buffalo who loved this town so much he came back for a second go-round. 11 years in the NFL, 6 with Buffalo, 4 with Oakland, 1 in Atlanta. Former Bills tight end Lee Smith on with us for the show. Great to see you, man. You look great. How are things?
Great, man. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great up here in Buffalo. We're excited about our team. You know, I went through a little bit of a lull, but your name obviously arose this past week. You know why? Thursday night on Amazon. And you're a guy who, you know, as I've known you over the years, is one of the most humble people who doesn't like the fanfare or whatever. And yet there you were, Josh Allen and Ryan Fitzpatrick, post-game on Amazon, and your name pops up. Did you see it live, or did people tell you about it, or how'd you find out?
Yeah, man, believe it or not, I don't sit down and watch football games very often. I really love the game. I enjoy playing the game. Heck, I'm coaching high school football down here in Tennessee now, so football is obviously a part of my bloodline and my life, but I don't sit down and watch games very often, so I definitely missed it, but my phone kind of went off like a Christmas tree after Fitz said what he said, so I definitely heard about it from plenty of people for sure.
But the quote was spot on. I mean, when you talk about Fitz and Josh, they are so much alike. They're lighthearted, they're fun, they're community oriented, they are gritty, hard-nosed like you were in terms of a player. And yet, yeah, Josh has the bigger arm and the bigger body, and that totally separates him from Fitz, sadly for Fitz.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, if you ever meet a teammate of Ryan Fitzpatrick or Josh Allen that doesn't rave about him, that person has a flaw. I can promise you. Both those men are just absolute stud human beings, stud football players, stud competitors. You know, they're competitive to a fault. The amount of times coaches have begged Ryan Fitzpatrick to slide, you know, is equal to the amount of times Sean has begged Josh to slide. Obviously, Josh has had one coach, and Fitz has had 75 coaches in the NFL begging him to slide. But man, they're both just the best. It's a true blessing that Ryan Fitzpatrick and Kyle Williams and a few of those guys are the ones that raised me early in my career. And then, you know, when I was there with Josh as a veteran and trying to help him as a young player, a lot of the things that I learned and a lot of things that I maybe taught Josh here or there came directly from Fitz. You know, I'll never forget standing on the sideline with Matt Ryan in my last year when we were up there, and he's like, "Good Lord, Lee, he plays football like a middle linebacker." You know, it's just wild watching him. So yeah, I mean, every word you would think from the defensive guys, just like I did see that play last week that he threw a guy off of him and he's falling out of bounds. And I mean, human beings just can't do that. And on top of that, just the leader of men, person he is, ask Von Miller what he thinks about Josh Allen. You know what I mean? And he's been with Josh for half a season. And I can guarantee you, he'll already say one of my all-time favorite teammates, because that's just the kind of person he is.
What makes Sean McDermott, special? What separates him from some of the other coaches you played for?
Of course, the word process comes to mind. He's made that the buzzword of the century. Every coach in the world has a process now, thanks to Sean. So, Sean. One thing I'll say about Sean is, if you truly look around the league at some of these head coaches, and it all goes back to Josh, the best thing that Sean did, in my opinion, was he was going to ride or die with Josh. He was his first-round pick. You look at a lot of these guys, and coaches bench them and just play the mental mind games with them and jack around with them. And Sean McDermott said from day one, Josh Allen's my quarterback, and we're going to do this thing together. We're going to take over the league together, or we're going to crash and burn together. And kind of his loyalty and buy-in to Josh Allen and what we all knew he could be. Obviously, early in Josh's career, straight out of Wyoming, he was, very unpolished. And Sean never wavered and stood by Josh all along. So that's why Brandon Beane has a healthy paycheck. Sean McDermott has a healthy paycheck. And by God, Josh Allen's printing money. So I think it all goes back to Sean and Josh being early in his head coaching career, early in Josh's career as a quarterback, and the fact that they were together and just kind of hunkered down together and did this together, obviously along with Brandon, building an awesome roster. It was just pretty special.
Well, continued success with that. It's only going to get better. And obviously with your gym as well. And we appreciate it more than that you could come on and spend a couple minutes with us. And great to catch up. Happy holidays. All the best through Christmas and New Year's for you and your wife and your kids, man.
Yeah, bro. Merry Christmas, man. Good to see you.
Thanks. Appreciate you doing this. Buddy. There's Lee Smith on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. More coming up right after this.
What we're able to do is really restore how you used to feel when you can eat food, when you can smile. So I think being able to transform how someone faces the world, that's really one of the main things that drew me to dentistry.
It's bad going through life having to cover your face because you're embarrassed of your teeth.
So you can really impact people's lives way beyond just, fixing a tooth.
It literally changed my life.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us for a free consultation.
Family is the most important to us above everything else. 34 Group is a general construction company.
We had a part in rebuilding the community. We choose Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York because they are reliable.
It's just great coverage, and we have a great relationship with the folks at Highmark. We want our legacy to just be that we were good people that loved our community.
It is definitely a love affair, I can tell you that right now.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to go in the pocket. With Arena League All-Pro from the Albany Empire, our quarterback Sam Castronova. Now, look, Mike White, the first time he played the Bills, didn't have a very good game. In fact, it worked out really well for the Bills, the way he played and the way the Bills took care of him.
Absolutely.
But
it's kind of our get-back game last year.
It was. But this year, he seemingly has turned his game around with, unexpected play time, honestly. I think they really thought Zach Wilson was going to be their guy. Clearly has not panned out. Saleh puts him in the last 2 weeks, over 300 yards.
Yeah, I think the guys really like him. 300 yards the last 2 weeks. He did have 2 turnovers last week, but the one pick was kind of off a tip pass. But he's playing some good football. He threw some really nice balls I watched during the Vikings game. So he definitely looks like he's improved and he's ready to up for the challenge. But still our defense is our defense.
I was going to say, what does it say about him that the offensive coordinator of the Jets, the play callers for the Jets, are confident enough in his game to let him throw it around 60 times?
Yeah, they never did that with Zach Wilson, right. And there was a reason for it. So maybe they almost feel like he can do more than Zach could. So because maybe he's a little more mature, and more accurate. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Going through his progressions, and obviously I would say that your key to the game for the Bills defense is just get pressure on him.
Absolutely, pressure and tight coverage.
All right, there's in the pocket.
And Garrett Wilson.
And Garrett Wilson, right.
That guy's good.
There's in the pocket. The Mafia is coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Welcome you back. You were just, I don't know how we got this table in so quickly, but we do it every week. It's magical.
It's pretty cool.
You know, they run that little thing, your highlight reel, and the stage crew comes in here and replaces the table with whatever was here. And all these guys come up from out of nowhere.
It's Broadway-like.
It really is. It's crazy stuff. Welcome back, of course, Dr. Jared. And to our guests, Rich here and Russ, who happen to be granddad-in-law and granddad of Sam, correct? Did I get it right?
Yeah, both my grandpas, yeah.
Okay, both your grandpas. Very good. So let's start with the grandpas first. And Rich, I'll start with you. Now, I understand that you are an author.
Yes.
You're so humble. It's okay. You can get up on that mountain and scream it.
About 5 books.
5 books. Okay, and I understand because we're in the holiday season, one has to do with reindeer.
Yeah, Randolph the short-legged reindeer.
And that and the other 4 books are available? People can find them?
Sure.
On Amazon and...
The other ones are plays. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach.
Come on.
Yes.
Wow. You learn something new every day on this show, don't you, everybody? Well, congratulations on that. And folks, look for the book, Randolph the Short-Legged Reindeer, on Amazon, wherever you can find books, right?
Man has to know his limitations, so do reindeer.
Russ over here, barber. You have a great coif, my friend.
Thank you.
What could you possibly do with this nonsense? Can you help me?
I can cut it.
You can do something. Okay. Cut it.
I can cut it.
That's about the best answer I could have expected. That's very good. All right, so enough about all of us. Let's talk a little bit about the Bills, and I'm going to go back to you, Rich. The Bills went through their little bit of a lull, and it looks like they're kind of coming out of it. Are you starting to gain maybe a little bit more confidence in this, final quarter plus of the season with the team?
I believe last week was the telltale week, because last week they actually looked like a Super Bowl team taking care of business. They just methodically went through the game and just took care of it. They were never in doubt. You never had a question about it. They were in charge. If they play that way the rest of the way,
yeah,
who knows?
Right. We always seem to say that, at least in the Josh Allen era. Who knows? Russ, how about you? What's your level of confidence going forward? Obviously, we have the 3 divisional games starting this weekend with the Jets. And then we got the Dolphins at home in that flex game, fun. Patriots at the end of the year. And then the Bengals, too, in there. That's 4 arguably difficult games. And the Bears kind of muddled in there to screw everything up. But what's your level of confidence right now?
I think last week with all the losses in our division and even in Kansas City losing, everyone lost and we won. And I think that's the beginning of us getting back into the rhythm of the big game.
And we need a heartbeat, too, in terms of getting healthy, right? I mean, we're missing extremely significant players. Von Miller's going to be out, we think, for a couple more weeks, right? And then, let's hope we get Dion back, right?
Right, yeah. So, I do think, though, we're heading in the right direction. And we're finally starting to get a little healthy. And I like the way we took care of business in that game. We left no doubt, like he said. And I'm excited to see the Bills the rest of the way.
We were talking a little bit off camera before we started, and we didn't even talk about this yet, but John Brown didn't do much. It was kind of there. What kind of an impact can he have? I know a lot of people are talking about OBJ right now, and is he going to be a Bill? Is he not? Is he going to play in the league or not?
Yeah, I mean,
can John Brown be that guy that can complement the receiver corps enough?
He can't be an OBJ. I mean,
certainly
there's a reason he's been cut a few times from a couple of different teams. I think what he brings is kind of a familiarity with Josh. They had a really good connection for a couple of years, so I think he can be kind of trustworthy of Josh and be where we need him to be. He's not going to be world beater, but I definitely think he can help us out in a couple different scenarios.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to start with you, Russ, with our picks for the game. What do you think? Bills, Jets, what's the score going to be?
Well, I'm going with the Bills all the way.
Okay.
The score,
you got it kind of, right, on this show.
I think it could be big. Their average is what? Almost 30 points a game?
Sure.
I'm going to stay with that average, somewhere in the 30s. The losing team, maybe 20.
Okay. All right, let's go over to Rich. What's your score going to be?
31-17.
Bills. Jared.
28-10.
28-10 Bills.
27-14.
27-14 Bills. I will have my pick at the end of the show. Right now, though, we got to give away some Tino's dough with a 2-minute drill. All right, Sorrentinos and Main Street is Artino's Dough. You guys will get gift cards for there if you can answer these trivia questions correctly. They're all about Bills, Jets, one way or the other. Question number 1. The Bills and the Jets had memorable matchups in their former stadium, the 81 playoff game. OJ, 2,003 yards. He breaks the record there. What stadium was that?
Rich.
The Jet Stadium.
The Jet Stadium.
Oh, the Jets.
Nope.
Oh, no, it wasn't. They were in New York.
Played baseball there.
Shea
Stadium. We'll take it. Absolutely, Rich. Question number 2. This one's going to be really difficult. 1965, Joe Namath drafted. He was in the same draft class. This is crazy. A lot of people don't know this. As Gale Sayers and Dick Butkus. Crazy. And back then they had 2 leagues. Both leagues drafted both these guys, or all 3 of those guys. So we know who drafted Joe Namath in the AFL. That was the Jets. You guys have any idea who drafted Joe Namath in the NFL in 1965? He was the 10th overall pick.
Maybe the Rams?
Rams? Anybody else want to take a guess?
The Giants.
I'm going to tell you it was a bird. I'll give you a hint.
Cardinals.
Cardinals it is, yes. The St. Louis Cardinals.
There you go.
With a hint.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
In 1965, picked Joe Namath. All right, last question. Ryan Fitzpatrick, as we all know, played for both the Bills and the Jets. In a Bills and Jets game, which uniform was he wearing when he went 24 for 34 for 374 yards and a touchdown? Was he wearing a Bills uniform or a Jets uniform?
Jets.
I'd say Jets.
Listen,
Okay.
Jared's usually right, so we're going to go with Jared.
And he was, yes, it was the Jets. Okay, guys, hey, look, here we go. Tino's Dough, we get to pass them out. There you go. Eat up, fellas.
Thank you.
Rich, Russ, guys, happy holidays. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. And go get the book, everybody.
Merry
and
Christmas.
go get your haircut.
Heads
With
up,
Russ,
our
right? All right, final segment coming up next. Jared will join. We're going to talk about the Jets as we continue with the Shatkin First Down Ball, the pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin, the clinical director here at the new Shatkin Dental Health Postgraduate Dental Residency Program. For years, I've felt there's been a need to help those patients who just can't afford quality care but want to be treated in a private dental office setting. Shatkin Dental Health will save you 20 to 30% on the procedures you need without compromising the care you deserve.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile and receive a dental cleaning and x-rays for only $43. And as always, consultations are free.
Your kitchen is the heart of your home, so make it what you've always wanted.
Empire Granite Marble Quartz has everything you need to start your kitchen countertop makeover, all within your budget. Offering 24 months, 0% financing for a limited time. Empire has the largest indoor full slab showroom in Western New York, so visit the showroom today.
Make your dreams a reality with luxury you can afford.
Mini dental implants are life-changing. We have patients that come in with partial dentures, loose teeth, cracked teeth, and in pain, and they're able to leave and we can restore teeth on that same day sometimes. People are smiling, they're chewing, they're eating better than ever, and it's all thanks to mini dental implants.
These implants, these are God-given teeth in an hour or two. They're that good.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. Okay, Jets, Jets, the mean green machine, whatever the heck they call them, coming into what will be a very loud and rambunctious Highmark Stadium. And of course, this starts off the AFC East, right? It's Jets, Dolphins, and then Patriots at the end of the year with the Bengals sprinkled in there, and then the Bears, which I think should be a pushover game, no brainer. But here we go, right? This is crunch time. This is when the Bills have to look like they need to look and go into that sort of championship mode.
I mean, it's just so important that we win these divisional games coming up because we already lost to the Jets and the Dolphins. And the Jets look to be a much better team than we played in the first game, and we did lose to them. So we're going to have a pretty tough matchup coming up here.
Yeah, we lost to Zach Wilson.
Right, yeah. The only good game I think he's ever played.
Right.
I seriously think that.
And it was a good game because he was coached up, right? He had a very simple game plan. Just Keep it simple, stupid. Don't screw it up. And he didn't. And the Jets were fortunate to get a couple of big runs at the very end of the game, a couple of bad turnovers on the Bills' part. I mean, that game just didn't go the way of the Bills. But I think the Bills are a different team now than they were then.
Well, yeah, because I think that was a bad Josh Allen, and he doesn't have that many bad games. And last week he looked himself again. So if we get the good Josh Allen, we'll be just fine.
All right, well, let's go back to the Jets. Let's talk about their offense. Let's talk about Mike White. So 4 picks the first time we play him. Last 2 weeks, though, well over 300 yards. And as I mentioned with Sam, their offensive coordinator has enough confidence in him to let him throw the ball almost 60 times last week.
Yeah, I mean, and he's just really reading the field well. You could tell he belongs, and he doesn't look like a backup. He looks like a guy who's going to be able to start for the Jets and play good football, because he threw for 300 yards plus 2 weeks in a row. And how many years did we go without a 300-yard passer here in Buffalo? Yeah, so I do think they got a good one in him.
And they have a good receiver core. Garrett Wilson is fantastic. Obviously, Corey Davis has had his ups and downs, but a good player, and he showed it in the game the other day. So they got some talented receivers, and their run game, despite the fact no Breece Hall, I mean, this kid Knight has looked great, almost 160 yards in the last 2 games for him.
Yeah, no, exactly, and they did beat up on us in 1 or 2 drives last time we played them on the run. But I do think the Bills' defense is coming along, and they're going to play a little bit better. I really do.
How many reps? You think Trey White goes the whole game?
He went most of the game versus the
Sure
Patriots.
did, yeah.
I think it's time for him to play the whole game, and I think we benched Kyer Elam last week. I really want to see that duo play, so I hope that Elam's back in favor with the coaches this week.
Yeah, and obviously the linebackers are good. Looks like the D-line is good, obviously, except for Vaughn. So we look like we're pretty good. We're starting to shape up on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, Deion Dawkins is so key in this game.
Yeah, we got to see how his injury goes throughout the week. He's important. They got a really good pass rush with that Curry on the outside, and their defense is really stepping up and playing good football, really good football.
Quinnen Williams is an absolute beast in the middle of that D-line, and I'm assuming they're going to try and double team him here and there. I don't know in terms of balance what the Bills will do, but I think they've been balanced, maybe more balanced than they have been all year the last couple of weeks.
I mean, I think you just run at those guys right now. The way our running game is rolling, which I never thought I'd say, you keep running the ball, you give the rock to Singletary and Cook, mix in a little bit of Josh Allen, and I think you're going to have a nice running game going. And I don't think it really matters who we play, to be honest, because we've looked good against some pretty good teams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that helps or works rather against C.J. Mosley, who's arguably one of the best sideline-to-sideline linebackers in the league. And, we've talked a lot about their defensive backfield, Sauce Gardner, and the rest of that foursome pretty good on the back end.
C.J. Mosley, who you're talking about, is a guy that I remember the Bills played the Jets week 1, 2019 maybe, and the Jets were kind of dominating the Bills. And C.J. Mosley went out in that second half, and the Bills came back and won that game. And it almost turned tides of the whole division. There was a whole shift there because of C.J. Mosley, and he's a guy that doesn't get enough attention in this league.
For sure. He is that kind of an impact player. Okay. It's around a 9 or 10 point spread, give or take, whoever you're talking about in this game. You made your pick a little bit earlier as part of the Mafia. I'll make my pick now, and I think this game's going to be tight. In fact, if I was a betting guy, I might take the Jets and the points, to be honest with you, the way they played.
9.5 is a lot.
It's a lot of points. So I'm going to still take the Bills to win. I'm going to go Bills 27, Jets 21. So I think it'll be a very competitive game, but I think the Bills come out again on top. All right, got to thank our sponsors, of course, Shatkin F.I.R.S.T, I Smile, Aesthetic Associates, Russell Salvatore, your dad, Dr. Todd Shatkin, you obviously, and of course you at home, wherever you might be for watching the show. Go Bills, beat the Jets. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
If you would like to be a participant in the Shatkin First Down Huddle, email Mark Ahrens at mahrens@shatkinfirst.com. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.